Disgusting. So, today's topic will be me discussing coming out to my mom. This shit is I think this story is my favorite one to tell. Ew. I'm just kidding. Oh yeah. My name's Emmanuel. Hi guys, how are you? Look back at my previous episode. Let me turn down the volume. Look back at my previous episodes, see what has happened me. So I had one of the, like, this vanilla shake thing. And I realized that whenever I drink coffee, shakes, ice blended stuff, I get like a buildup and it's nasty and shit. But anyways, let's discuss about me coming out to my mom. I think this story is hilarious because, okay, so it all happened in middle school. Let's build a image of what happened, okay? I'm fucking pissed off at this fucking lighting. I'm fucking over this. So it was fucking 7th grade. It was in middle school. I was on the phone. And I was using the house phone because I didn't have a cell phone, I think. Yeah, I didn't have a cell phone. I did have a cell phone, but I don't know what the fuck happened to it. But anyways, I'm talking on the house phone and I'm talking to a guy. And so, being in middle school, I feel like there's this thing where, like, after a week of talking to someone, you tell someone that you love them and shit like that. But I had been talking to this guy for a while anyways. So we're on the phone and we're about to hang up and I tell him I love you and he tells me he loves me back. We hang up. My mom peers into my room because I'm in my room in this story. She peers into my room. She has a dramatic novela moment where she looks at me and she goes, let me give myself a wig or something. So homegirl, oh my gosh. So homegirl comes in. My mom's hair isn't this long, but I'm doing too much right now. This is too much. What the fuck is up with this sweater? Anyway, she goes, Emmanuel, ¿con quién estuviste hablando? And I looked at her and I'm just all like, con un amigo. ¿Por qué? She's all like, porque oí, I'm sorry, this is where, porque oí lo que habían dicho. I'm like, ¿de qué estás hablando de? She goes, oí que le dijiste que lo amabas. Dígame, Meño, ¿hay algo que me tienes que decir? And I just look at her and I'm just all like, and for me, I go all up in defense mode and I'm like, oh fucking shit. I'm like, fuck my life. I was like, oh my fucking gosh. Homegirl is really asking me this shit. So I just like, kind of like, I'm just shook. So I turn it on her and I go, why are you eavesdropping? Because we had 2 house phones. We have 2 house phones. So I guess she picked up the other house phone and she started listening in the conversation. And I told her, homegirl, why are you eavesdropping on my conversations? You're acting just like, yo le dije, I feel like some of you who don't know Spanish aren't going to understand this story. So basically, my mom overheard me tell a guy I love them. Then she asked me if I had something to tell them. And I just said, oh, and I was like, where? Okay, so this is where I go, Ama, ¿por qué andas escuchando en mis conversaciones? And then she's just all like, no, and I'm like, te estás comportando como mi pa. ¿Cómo vas a querer que yo te tenga un tipo de like... I love how when I was younger I knew more Spanish words. ¿Cómo te voy a tener la confianza en platicar o hacer cosas así? Te estás comportando como mi pa. And I just pretty much told her, like, how can I trust you? How can I rely on you if you're over here eavesdropping? You're acting just like my dad. Because my dad is just a little weirdo that he is and everything like that. So I turned everything on her. The look in her eyes when I turned everything on her and I was making her feel like such a bad person destroyed me. Like, homegirl had like sentimentales en sus ojos. Like, she was about to cry and I was just over here like, and she's all like, no, no, pues así está bien, perdóname, meño. Ya me voy, perdón. And I'm just over here feeling like the piece of shit of the world. So I just think about the whole thing, and then like later in the night, I just go to her and I'm like, can we please sit down? And she just looks at me and she's just all like, okay. So then we sit across from each other at the table, and then I tell her, well, I have something to tell you. This is very difficult for me to do. And I told her that I am bisexual. Yeah. So I was going with that story. I was going with I'm bi. I was over here being like, trying to be like, I'm trying to give my mother a little glimpse of hope. A little glimpse of hope that maybe I'd be with a girl. And she's just all like, well, how sure are you? Are you sure? Have you ever been with a guy? And I'm like, no, I haven't been with a guy. The guy that you heard on the phone, we're not together or anything like that. But I've never been with a guy. Then she's all like, how sure are you then? So then this is when I turn it back on her and I'm like, how sure are you that you're straight? Have you ever been with a girl? Are you positive about that? And then she just kind of like, no, pues. I'm like, exactly. So why are you gonna question me about my sexuality like that? If you're still like, if you've never been questioned in that sense, you get me? Like, you see how uncomfortable that kind of makes me? She's just all like, yeah, I see what you mean and everything like that. But maybe it's because you're young and stuff like that. And I'm just all like, no. She asked me, at that point, she asked if I've kissed anyone, if I've been with anyone. And the thing that's always kind of like bothered me is when she asked me if I've ever been touched by someone. And I brought it up to her before once I was older. She asked me if I've ever been touched by a guy, like, inappropriately. And I always tell her, Ama, like, you've done this before where you ask me more than you ask my brother. And it's because I'm gay and you think that that's the reason that I could possibly be gay. And she's just all like, no. And she the way that I phrased it, like, she finally understood what I meant. She just apologized for that. So I appreciate my mom for listening in and understanding, like, my position about the whole thing. But yeah, homegirl just, like, was trying to wrap her mind around it. But at the end of the day, she goes, your sister who is in bed 24/7, who can't do anything, basically can't live her life, except smile and live happily, like, in bed. She's there and I've accepted and loved her for who she is. So why can't I do the same with you when you're able to talk to me, to hug me, to just walk around and be here? And when she said that, like, that just lifted a whole bunch of weight off of my shoulder. I was all like, ooh, homegirl, thank you. And then she just goes, yeah, well, you're my son and everything like that. Like, I would feel worse if I would just not accept you and everything like that. She's all like, and then my aunt, she's trans, so they identify as a woman and everything like that. Born male, conducts themselves, identifies as a female. So my mom was also like, well, yeah, my brother's also like within the community, so it wouldn't make sense if I would to shun you down, is what she was telling me. And I'm like, oh, thank you. And so she cried more than me. If anything, I told her, like, for me, in my previous, I feel like I've discussed this, like, just being, like, growing up, I learned how to be a bit more independent and shit like that. So I told homegirl, like, I really don't care if you and my dad don't accept me. Like, I'm learning to accept myself, and I've been independent enough to know, like, what I'm doing. And if y'all can't accept me, then that's fine. I will live my life, just go to college, do my own thing, and then finally leave, and then it wouldn't be a worry for me, is what I told her. I'm like, but I love the fact that you do accept my thing, my me coming out and everything like that. So then she asks me, so are you gonna tell your dad? And I'm over here like, girl, we are gonna wait for another day. We're gonna wait another day for that, because because we ain't ready for that shit. But yeah, that was me coming out to my mom, and ever since then, my mom's been very accepting. Slowly and surely, I've been telling her, she knows I'm gay, not bi. And like, she's very supportive of me just going like to Pride and everything like that. She'll even be like, you know what, one day I even want to go with you and everything like that. And I'm like, no, because I'm gonna act like a thought. I know, but in terms of on my mom's aspect, she's been very supportive of me, and I really do love my mom for being very accepting of who I am and everything like that. And I don't know, she's just on her behalf, on that half of my parents, like that's really been really amazing. So I really do appreciate that. And yeah, that's basically my coming out story to my mom. That's 7th grade. I come out to my dad somewhere in like 11th grade, my junior year of high school. That will be another story. But for right now, we are not getting into that. So this is the end of this chapter. I need to work on a paper that's due at 5 p.m. tomorrow. Bye, bitches.